Hello, welcome to Games What I Played, episode 30. I've had a good week for gaming, and so I can offer another summary style battle report for you this week. It's a 50 Soulstone Malfaux game, pitting the Outcasts against the Neverborn, the Viktorias against Secretary Lucius. The strategy, schemes, and list will be described in the video. Enjoy! Hello Mike, so we're here to play some Malfaux today at 50 Soulstones.
Yep.
Mike needs a bit of practice for an upcoming event. What's the event that you're going to see?
Gunsmiths for Hire at Tabletop Nation.
And how many points is that?
That's going to be 40 days.
Alright, so a bit less.
But
you know, practice is practice. Yeah. Alright, so today we are going to play Turf War, which is you put a token in the centre of the table, and I believe from turn 2, if you have 2 non-peon models within it at the end of the turn, you score a point. You can get maximum 4 points from that. We drew a mission pool, scheme pool of Outflank, Line in the Sand, Breakthrough, Frame for Murder, and Assassinate. Okay, and we are playing on Mike's side Outcasts, led by the Viktorias. There's the Viktoria of Blood, I think.
Blood, Hannah, and you got Hodgepodge Effigy, Phycops Librarian, Vanessa, and Viktoria of Ash, and 2 Void Wretches.
Okay, and you have a few upgrades on some of your models?
Yep, I have, on Viktoria of Ash, I've got Finished Job, Overkeeper, which gives her fast for a turn, and Survivors, which gives her hard to kill.
Yep. On
Viktoria of Blood, I've got Mark of Shazoo, and Sisters in Fury.
Yep.
And on Hannah, I have Void Record, which will just bury your models.
Okay, I don't like the sound of that.
And Vanessa has got Overkeeper as well, which gives her fast.
Very well. And on my side, probably unsurprisingly, we have the boss man, Lucius. We have 2 illuminated. I don't know why I put them next to each other. 1, and eventually over here, +1 Terratots. The standard doppelganger, who I can't play without, it seems. A Teddy, and Mr. Grave. So much smaller list this time, but much heavier hitters because of Turf War. I need to actually be able to do some damage and stick around. I've taken a couple of upgrades on Lucius, which are Legalese and Ether Connection. So we've drawn our hands, which, you know, I usually would show on another video, but on this it's a bit unfair because I'll be watching. And I wouldn't believe me if I promised not to. So I will also put up on the final video what missions we've each selected. Oh yeah, Mike's actually admitted to breakthrough, so he'll get an extra point if he gets his 2 in my deployment zone. And I have not revealed anything because I don't like to tell people my secrets. Alright then, so we're going to come back at the end of every turn, starting with turn 1. Good luck, Mike.
Thank you, mate.
But not too good. Okay, here we are at the end of turn 1. Let's do me first. I sprinted up the doppelganger by copying the Terratot's spell, and she got pretty far up the board. As did the Terratot, but not quite as far as that Terratot, who also sprinted up. I moved up Mr. Graves, who showed the door to the Teddy, to give the Teddy a couple, 6 inches extra range. It wasn't actually 6, but still pretty far. Teddy kind of moved up and used his spell that lets him gobble you up on the Hodgepodge Effigy, who unluckily flipped the Black Joker, which got me in there. I did an attack on Vanessa, but it missed. This Illuminated moved up into cover. This Illuminated moved up into cover and went defensive. Terratot went into cover. Lucius walked up, kind of made a couple of Illuminateds walk with him, so that's why they're so far up the board. Went defensive. I believe that's all my models. And as for Mike's,
basically just pushed everything up forward and nothing special.
So you can see Void Wretch there, and we've got Viktoria of Ashes, Hodgepodge, and Vanessa. And then behind the tree we've got the Librarian. Blood, Hannah, and another Void Wretch over there. I think the Vanessa of Ashes tried to shoot at the Terratop, but I cheated the flip to prevent her from getting the shot off. So obviously no one scores yet. A bit of a quiet round, although Teddy has gone right up the board, so he's going to be doing some terrifying 13 fun. But I expect he's going to get a beating, so I'm hoping he can survive long enough to do some damage. Back at the end of turn 2. Here we are at the end of turn 2, and a pretty bloody turn it was. Teddy was eventually murderized by Viktoria of Ashes. He got her down to 1 wound, but she managed to survive with some soul stonage and hard to kill. And I didn't have very good hands, so I wasn't able to cheat this one last attack to kill her off. This Viktoria of Blood came up and killed a Mr. Graves, who kind of charged into Hannah. Mr. Graves had some help. The doppelganger, in a kind of really lucky move, moved up twice, copied his show you the door, and happened to get the tome trigger as well to cast it, otherwise it wouldn't have happened. But I kind of underestimated the amount of damage the sisters do when they've got Sisters of Fury on them. These two Illuminated did pretty much nothing, which is very rare for someone to say about the Illuminated on Hannah. They just didn't really do anything. Terratop kind of ambled up. I lost another Terratop over here. I was hoping to put some black blood to finish off Viktoria, but unfortunately she'd been healed by the Librarian by then and didn't really do much. Hodgepodge failed his terror test versus the Teddy and kind of was paralysed, and Vanessa ineffectually whacked the Teddy a little bit, didn't really do anything. But scores this time. I had framed for murder on Teddy, so I got 3 for that because he was killed by Viktoria of Ashes. I got 1 point for having 2 models in the centre. So I'm on 4. Mike has 2 models at least in the centre, so he is on 1. But this Void Wretch is moving towards my backfield with that breakthrough announced. So because I didn't do as much damage to models as I hoped in that turn, it's going to be quite troubling. What I also forgot to mention is Hannah stuck Lucius in the void, which was quite annoying. So I was out, down an activation, and it was my master that turn. So as I said, I didn't have a very great hand, and I had to discard a lot of it just to get Teddy to do some fighting. So here's hoping I can go first next turn and kind of get some benefits with Lucius here, because I badly need them to get some kills in. On to turn 3. So here we are at the end of turn 3, was that?
Yeah, 3.
I'll move my little widget up. Another savage turn for my crew, which is looking increasingly lonely. I spent everyone trying to kill Hannah again, so I wouldn't be buried, because I had another pretty shitty hand. The Viktoria of Blood just wipes out, models in a couple of strikes. I had to just spend a lot of cards from my hand and Soulstone and put some damage on the Terratop to only take 4 wounds from the Viktoria of Ashes, which is, I suppose, pretty good, because he could have done about 18. The Doppelganger kind of run back towards this Void Wretch in order to interfere with some markers, or at least threaten that. And here is my increasingly large dead pile. So this turn, a fully defensive Illuminated bought the big one in 2 strikes. So my plan to have a tough melee force to kind of hang out with these guys has been completely overawed by their insane damage. And it keeps on flipping 11s with those paired katana, which is not helping matters. If I can go first this time, I repeat, might be able to kill one of them if I'm very lucky. I'm not entirely sure how I'll be doing that, but, I'll give it some thought. Unfortunately, Viktoria of Ashes has been fully healed up from Teddy's rampage by the whatchamacallits. Are any of the sisters damaged?
Just the Viktoria blood from black blood from your
Okay, so I may be wrong then. Alright then. So back at the end of turn 4, if I still have any models. Oh, the other Void Wretch moved up, come in for that breakthrough token to get a few points. Scores are 5 to me and 2 to Mike, because we both score a point for the claim marker in the middle of the table. Here we are at the end of turn 4, and as you may notice, that middle section is cleared of my models. The Illuminated was killed by the Viktoria of Blood, the Terratop was killed by Lucius to get an extra Soulstone, and Lucius was killed by 4 attacks from the Viktoria of Ashes. I had 4 cards to discard to give him negative flip, but he kept on flipping like 8 as a minimum, and with 5 minimum damage, Lucius, even though he soulstoned for 4 heal, which is pretty good, he still bought the big one because you can't deal with that kind of damage. The Void Rich over there moved and put down another marker. My last model, the Doppelganger, removed 1 marker. This Void Rich over here dropped a marker, but it wasn't in the right place, but it doesn't matter because we'll get it on the next turn, and that Doppelganger can't get them all. Vanessa kind of moved over there, I don't know why, but I guess I'll find out soon. And the Librarian moved up, obviously the Victoria of Ashes kind of did the damage. Hodgepodge moved over there, so there must be some sort of mission where you've got to move all over the place, I don't know. I don't remember being... Oh, it was maybe outflank or something.
Yeah, it's
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can think of what you're doing, but it looks like bad. So I get no points for being in the middle because I have been cut into small ribbons by minimum 5 damage Victorias, and so I'm still on 5, and Mike has moved to 3 so far, but he's going to get 4 at least from that, and 3 for this to go to 7, so there is no way I can stop him winning, so I'll concede now. Well done, Mike. You really showed me a lesson, and just to humiliate myself further, I kind of made fun of the Victorias for being very linear before we played, and I just got dropped to ribbons because I just didn't bother looking at what they did, and they do a lot of damage, which overloads all of my defences. I've got quite a lot of defensible models, but unfortunately the Mark of Shazul means that one of the sisters ignores all of them, which means that instead of killing my models over 2 turns in many hits, she kills them over 2 attacks in 1 round. And because I've taken big bruises this round instead of loads of little shitters, I cannot deal with that kind of damage output. My other mission, as you've seen in the video, was Assassinate, but I thought with 4 cards to kind of hold off the Victoria of Ashes, killing the Victoria of Blood, who was giving Sisters in Fury, would be the better option. So I didn't get Assassinate, and I myself was killed, but Mike doesn't have Assassinate, which for some reason I thought he might have done. I'd never take Outflank, it was giving me a headache trying to figure out how to work it, so I just assume other people won't. So good game, Mike. I only killed, I believe, 2 models, which was Hannah, who took about 3 million attacks to kill. She was indestructible. And the Victoria of Blood, who was made of something less stern than whatever Hannah's made of. Yeah, pretty shocking for me. Another loss with Lucius, but I kind of think I took a silly squad against him. Thinking back to all the other teams that I've taken, the squads that I've taken, crews, I'm not sure how I'd have dealt with the 5 damage, considering he can ignore all my defensive things. And even when I was discarding cards for highest authority, which is my usual trick with him and the lawyer, the Victoria Blood has a paired set of katana anyway, so getting the feeling that Lucius and a shitload of minions or monsters isn't a great drop against the Victoria. So colour me impressed, and I've learned a lesson, and that lesson is don't make fun of the Victorias before you play them. Only do it after you beat them. Thanks, Mike.
Good day, mate. Thank you.
There we go. There's some practice for you.
Yeah,
of the worst kind. Sorry. Bye.
Bye.